Wow, it's already Friday, day 5 of OSHKOSH AIRVENTURE. Review to see Fagan's Curtiss Helldiver, but first we'll take in a U2 presentation. That is the spy plane, not the band.
On a night shift, and so the way we fly these, or schedule our flights, I'd be teamed up with another U2 pilot. You guys have seen the chase car, heard about that. So you'd have two U2 pilots, and they would cover one shift on one night. One guy would fly, the other guy would be the chase car pilot. And then you worked about a 14-hour day, so then you couldn't fly the next day. So those two guys were off the next day. Then there was another two-person crew that filled in that following night. So you could just go indefinitely, flip-flop, who was the pilot, who was the chase pilot, and just go until you wore yourself out. After 2 months, you rotate back home, get some rest, and then come back 2 months later and you keep doing that for years on end. And you felt, I think, privileged to be able to do that. You know, the nation needed you. It was an important mission, and that's how I, in my mind, could justify being away from the family that long.
13 aircraft assigned, actually not quite that many, but about 10 aircraft assigned over at RAF Alconbury in the United Kingdom, near Cambridge. And my goal, I just got married, our goal was to go live in England and go fly the U2, so I had asked to go over and do that. In the middle of training, they decided they were going to phase down Alconbury, and the commander called me in the office and said, "Huggins, you're not going to Alconbury, you're staying here." "Yes, sir." "Okay." And about 2 weeks later, called me in the office, "Huggins, all of your household goods are on the boat, or in the middle of the Atlantic, you're going to England." So we were pretty happy to get to go over to England. I was the last U2 pilot to go to RAF Alconbury in the UK out of training.
A suit against your skin. So that felt like wearing a girdle for somebody that was 4 sizes smaller than you are. So actually you would be unconscious in 45 minutes if you lost pressure, because your circulation would slow down dramatically because your body's being squeezed by the pressure suit.
It's Friday. Not sure which RV this is. I think it's an RV6. Just waiting across this taxiway so I can get to the Warbirds and review presentation on the Curtiss Helldiver bomber presented by Fagan Fighters Air Museum in Granite Falls, Minnesota. Fantastic, beautiful day. As you can see, on Friday morning, the Warbird pasture has cleared out. The ponies, a lot of the ponies have left. That's the Warbird tram left. It takes you on a tour of the Warbird area all around, through the back, to the far west. To get on it, you have to sit through like a 10-minute presentation on joining Warbirds of America. All good though. All good. Just a beautiful Friday. The weather looks minty. There's the Warbirds in review bleachers. I'll go find a seat.
I'm so glad that you're here with me to enjoy it as well. This next song is one that is very well known from the time period of World War II. It was a Glenn Miller hit. This is a song called Moonlight Serenade.
Yeah. Just you wait and see.
It's yours. Thank you, veterans. Thank you, everybody. Please be seated.
Here we have Mark Sharp getting his stamp at Warbirds Review.
A little more history on
Mark
that Navy
donated
Cross. That Navy Cross.
ammo box manufactured in
that
Fort
was
William,
last
Ontario, where the Curtis
It
Helldiver.
started its journey.
He drove down to Fagin Fighters in Granite Falls, Minnesota.
Joe Granetsky. Joe, stand up for a second.
And there's the Curtis
Joe's the
Helldiver right
caretaker
there.
of that medal right now. Up Ron, and he sat there and stood up and said, "Hey, I'll get a P40 here." So what else are you flying right now?
Well, I make it simple for myself because of my age. I'm not going to tell you how old, but I'm under 100. But I fly the P40 and the P51, and then that's the only two fighters that I'm currently flying. And then I fly the trainers, T6, the BTs, and primary training stuff. And I'm not going to complicate myself learning more stuff because I'm too old. Let the young guys fly.
How many flyable airplanes you got at your museum right now?
Well, lost count. Lost 23 maybe. And well, we don't license everything we see here. We take turns and give an anchor. Most everything's flying.
Yeah, and if you all haven't been there, we'll have a little announcement later about the air show that they're going to have, but it's an absolute spectacular museum up there. I would say wagers.
When I read the manual on it before I test flew it, there's almost no restrictions on this airplane for airbags. And I mean, inverted spins, loops, rolls. Now, if you look at it, it doesn't do rolls very well, or loops or anything else. Actually, it loops. But it is, from a lot of airplanes you fly, like you get the TBM, it is very restricted what you can do. This airplane, you can do pretty much anything. So, 5 to 6 G's on the pull out, and the -2, -3, you never put any negative G's on it. But it is a very well built airplane. I mean, all these airplanes were so well built for combat, and that's why they, for the most part, unless they were totally shot up, had a good chance of getting their cruise home.
Well, after the Warbirds Review presentation is over,
Nothing wrong with that. Listen, we're trying to
they let people come up and walk around the airplane, and there's Mark trying to check out his ammo boxes. I think it's in there somewhere.
Oh, I'm sure.
Just have a radar. We'll walk around and check things out.
So, I'm excited.
That was good. Yeah, you gotta love EAA. They just let you walk around the airplane as close as you want, as long as you're respectful. Look but don't touch. And you can just get some pushing a Wildcat back into its parking position on the ramp. All is a challenge, pushing these airplanes back and not running over anybody. But the Warbirds flight line people in their orange vests and their line t-shirts do a heck of a job keeping everybody safe. This Wildcat is painted in the markings of Navy Lieutenant Butch O'Hare, after who the Chicago Airport, O'Hare Airport, is named after. Pushing the Curtis Helldiver into position for startup and takeoff. All right. We have a bit of a delay here as the Curtis Helldiver's battery is dead. And they're just gonna bring in a small power cart to get it going here.
Okay.
How do you get a job being a part of the official film crew?
You gotta work for the right company, and then they do EAA every year, and they ask if you'll join them.
Who's the right company?
Champion Video.
Fantastic.
Yep.
Do you get paid for doing this?
I do, yeah.
Yeah.
Very fortunate. It's very cool.
Enough. Airbus helicopter display. On our way to lunch. There's a P40 on display there. In front of Phillips Aviation Fuels. Oh, we're up this way. Walking up to the control tower. Michelin tires on the left. Titan fuse. Sun and Fun booth. Yeah, there's one cool pusher jet. Looks like it's yeah, that would be a pretty exciting ride. Highly recommended food at the Thunder Bay Grill, just off the Four Corners at AirVenture. Great selection. Prices are what you expect to pay at a big event. Friendly staff, fast service. Let's figure out what we have. Thunder Bay Grill. Awesome place. It's Friday afternoon, about 10 after 1. This is the main way into AirVenture. I'm walking toward the main gate. You can just see the crowds of people streaming in. Aircraft on to our left. Pilatus on the far left in the back there. This drone should be called the haircut drone. That'll put all the barbers out of business. If you have to jump out of that. Maybe it's got those special blades like you have on your table saw that wouldn't cut your neck off. Friday air show. There's an electric plane flying about called Beta.
And her daughter, unfortunately, had a terminal illness, and her name was Aaliyah. So, due to
just before takeoff, a senior officer came over and said, "They do. I want to go see that radio flight myself." But it saved his life. On that Well, how about that, Oshkosh? The aerobatic bonanza, Mr. Jim Okay, the B formation is smoking down. I think we've got we want only the lead. Greg Hume Paul. As they move across the RCAF trained pilots. One is not enough for the Northern Stars and Home team. If one's good, two's got to be double. If you have to if you hit the thing, then you can hit. Take some of the things we can do. That's what we do.
I can already see Greg enjoys aerobatics. one blimp and the other blimp. What did one blimp say to the other blimp? Let's go to Oshkosh.
Out came the F6, and the F6 had the distinction of creating more aces than any other airplane. Very the end of July, beginning of August of 1946. Then they changed to a very powerful M8 aircraft. As the cable extends back on the canopy and spreads out, the device unit doubles, synchronized to each other. And there's a point of the ball. Change the direction. Speed, starting at one direction and ending off on your left of the other.
That was a fabulous Friday at Oshkosh. We're back at camp now and have an intruder in our Jayco airspace. We'll see you Saturday. Cheers.
This has been a KPK Air 18 video production. Thank you for watching.